We got updates on Nope from Jordan Peele, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 coming to Netflix sometime, a movie called They/Them, and another movie called Smile. Oh my god, there's some really cool things in this video. Let's get into all of it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Amen.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Allow Pennywise to dance you now.
Oh, not on the beat!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes, death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking a little bit about a bunch of movies that I already listed in the intro. Now, before we get into this crazy update video, I'm gonna need you guys to like this video and subscribe to KillJoy Jake. I would greatly appreciate that. So getting into this, our first movie that I want to talk about is this film called They/Them. It's something that has been highly requested that I talk about on this page, and we finally just got a trailer for it yesterday. So I think it's really funny that this movie is coming out on Peacock on August 5th, because about half of the movies that I'm excited for the rest of the year come out on August 5th, oddly enough. Like, also we have Bodies. I think that Bullet Train movie comes out August 5th as well, which I'm actually pretty excited for. Not horror, but I think it looks pretty good. But this movie is dropping on Peacock August 5th. I'm excited for it. Probably will get a 1-week Peacock deal thing or whatever just to watch this, because I could care less about having a Peacock subscription, I'm gonna be totally honest. But I am excited to see this one. I just recently watched the trailer, which is pretty cryptic. It doesn't really give too much away. But I will say this one is interesting, and I will read the synopsis for you now, which is described as: when a group of LGBTQ+ campers arrive at Whistler Camp, a conversion camp run by Owen Whistler, who's played by Kevin Bacon, the Baconator, they are promised a new sense of freedom by the end of the week. But as the counselors attempt to psychologically break down each of the campers, a mysterious killer starts claiming victims, and they must reclaim their power if they're going to survive the horrors of the camp. This was written and directed by Academy Award nominee John Logan, too, which I think is really interesting, and of course from Blumhouse, so it's produced by Jason Blum. I will say this movie's being presented as a murder mystery, but it's pretty dang obvious that Kevin Bacon's pretty evil here. He runs a conversion camp. I don't really know how else to spin that except for that. I don't really know if this is going to be a murder mystery, but it's oddly being presented that way, so I really don't know how else to take that. Kind of strange. Regardless, I'm excited for it. Coming out, once again, like I said, August 5th, with just about half of everything else I'm excited for this year. Very weird coincidence. August 5th is a popular date this year. I don't know why, but it's gonna be a crazy weekend, I'll tell you that. Our next update is all about another film that is an original called Smile, coming from writer-director Parker Finn. And this is his first feature-length film ever that he's ever made, and it's based off of one of his short films from the past, and I'm very excited for it. It's short. The short film was titled Laura Hasn't Slept, which to me is just a really intriguing title. I do like Smile. Like, once again, very cryptic, very like, I don't know what's going on here. This is interesting, but I did kind of like that title almost a little more, because it's like, why hasn't Laura slept? I want to know. But Smile is very intriguing as well. The original title for the movie itself was actually going to be Something's Wrong with Rose, which I think is interesting. Really cool titles all the way around, but Smile is still pretty cool too. So the film comes out on September 30th, and we just got a trailer for it yesterday. It looks phenomenal. Listen, I've been saying for a long time that trailers have been kind of showing a little too much lately. This trailer, I think, showed just enough to get me intrigued, but didn't really spoil too much. The one thing it did show, which was probably the most interesting thing about the entire trailer, though, was this shot right at the end where this girl walks up to a car where our main protagonist, is sitting in the car, and this girl just walks up to it and knocks on the window, and when the girl looks over, her head just like swings down. I don't know why, but I have never had a jump scare in a trailer specifically get me more than that. That made me visibly like go back in my chair like that. That impressive, very impressive stuff. Everybody like screaming and smiling at this character. It's very uncanny and unsettling, and that was cool. But this jump scare, for whatever reason, just had me hooked. I'm very excited for this movie now. The film is being described as: after witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter, played by Sosie Bacon, starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. I find it very strange that the two movies we've talked about so far both both had leads with the last name of Bacon. I kind of am craving a Baconator now. I don't know what to tell you. Not sponsored by Wendy's, by the way. Also, for all you Scream fans watching right now, Kyle Gallner from Scream 2022, who of course played Vince, is going to be in this film with a significant role as well, it seems, from the trailer. I am very excited for this one, and I highly recommend you go check out that trailer. It's a very intriguing trailer, and I can't wait to see what Paramount Players has in store for us with this one. Now, getting into one of the weirder updates in this video, talking about a sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, specifically Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 that came out on Netflix this past February, which was a huge hit for Netflix. In its debut weekend, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came in the #2 spot on Netflix global charts for that week, viewed by subscribers for 29 million hours in those first few days. In its second week of being available on Netflix, the Legacy sequel was the third most watched movie on the streaming service entirely, suggesting it was definitely a hit for Netflix. Now, according to Bloody Disgusting, who has been very reliable, one of the most reliable horror news outlets specifically, they actually said that some of their sources could confirm that at Netflix they were discussing a potential sequel to this film, possibly being in the works sometime soon. Director David Blue Garcia has also talked in interviews about having some really cool ideas for where the franchise could go next, and I know a lot of people didn't love that last Texas Chainsaw. I didn't think it was fantastic, but the gore and the kills were amazing. I have no complaints about that, or Leatherface. Was it kind of ridiculous to have Old Man Leatherface running around? Did we really need a requel in that franchise? Again, this is not the first time it's happened, by the way. Don't forget about Texas Chainsaw 3D. No, we probably didn't need this movie, but was it still fun? Yes, that party bus scene is maybe one of my favorite scenes in all of Texas Chainsaw, like across the entire franchise. That's a top 5 scene for me. I'm gonna be completely honest. I loved it. If they want to give us more of that, if they just want to give us more schlocky slashers in the future, because apparently that's all we can get from from Texas Chainsaw sequels at this point, I'll take it. I'm not, whatever. You know, if it's just another movie where Leatherface shows up and just starts killing a bunch of people, sure, okay, I'll take it. I'm not complaining. I'm so glad I paid for Netflix in the month of February. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'll probably watch that movie again just for that one scene. It was pretty impressive. But I'm a gore hound. If you're not really big into gore, I can see not liking that movie. But then again, why are you watching a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film if you're not that into gore? One more thing I want to add to this is there's been absolutely no word from Fede Alvarez about wanting to produce another film in the future. Remember, he did produce that film, and he's probably not proud of that considering how it turned out. I mean, it's not the greatest film ever, and it's probably my least favorite film that he's ever been attached to, I gotta be honest, but I still enjoyed it. And if they make another one, I'm down for it. Honestly, if Netflix wants to throw some money at David Blue Garcia and someone else to write a script, sure. I don't know. I don't know what they could do next, but honestly, I'm in support of it if they do end up doing it. Fuck it. Why not? That's kind of where I'm at with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise at this point. Fuck it. Why not? And then our biggest update of the night regarding Jordan Peele's Nope. A new teaser was released for it called It Takes a Village, where they specifically talk a little bit about how like the entire cast and crew and everybody involved really just gave their 110% every step of the way. This little featurette also explains that Jordan Peele's upcoming feature was the first film to participate in the studio's new training program aimed at developing talent from historically excluded backgrounds behind the camera, which is fantastic. That's always really good to hear that more people of a diverse nature, that is, are coming onto films and getting jobs and working on some kind of film. That's awesome. That's really good news, and that's a really positive thing to be reporting on here. Now, on top of all that goodness, they also showed us a little bit more of like some of the behind the scenes of filming, some more things we've never seen before in other TV spots and trailers. Specifically, these shots of a helicopter, which is really interesting and also suggests possible government involvement with these aliens. I've speculated in the past before, talking a little bit about the cameras. I'm like, those cameras look very sophisticated. They look like government cameras or something. Well, we learned from the last trailer that actually those cameras are being set up by the Haywood Ranch people who are trying to get shots of aliens. But now, do they maybe get a little too close with the aliens and maybe the government has to get involved? Maybe that's a big plot point of this film. That could be really fun. Also, if you're someone who has read the spoilers and is just going to leave that in the comments and say, well, actually, you're wrong, this happens, just don't. Now, we've already seen a soundstage be involved with Nope from the first trailer that we got like a while back now, all the way at the Super Bowl, when it was like this green screen background. We have Keke Palmer's character and Daniel Kaluuya with a horse standing in front of a green screen. And they're talking about like their great-great-grandfather who was like the first person to be on film and all that. And it's really cool, but how is it significant with the plot of all this? How does it reveal some of the mystery of this new movie? I'm assuming because the least amount of stuff we have seen from this film is like like this studio backlot setting that apparently we're going to at some point in this film. That has to be part of where the twist is coming from. I'm very curious as to how that plays into this movie, because really everything else kind of works with the plot that I have envisioned in my brain from what we've already seen, from like trailers, from like the TV spots and all that. Everything kind of works so far, but this is the one thing where I'm just not quite understanding how this fits into the story. There has to be more to it than what we know about it so far, and this is the answer, I think. These sets we're seeing, these like studio backlots, like what is this? What is all this that we're seeing? It has to be part of the film somehow. Why are they there? Maybe it's because, like, you know, obviously they work at a horse ranch where that lends horses, trained horses that is, to Hollywood's films and all that. That's kind of like their whole business. But how does that play into like the aliens and all that? It seems like they're kind of taking a step aside from that after their pops dies, played by Keith David, by the way, who is a phenomenal actor. Very excited to see him in this, even if it's for a short role. How does that play into the story here? Like, is this beforehand? Is this like before they start getting to all the alien stuff, that they're at this like studio with horses for some reason? I don't know. It's a big question. I feel like a lot of the mystery has to do with that, though. Maybe the government wants them to film some kind of cover-up video and say, oh no, there was no aliens that we got on film. That YouTube video we posted was just a bunch of fake stuff. Don't worry about it. It could be something along those lines. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Definitely one of the two. We also get this shot of Daniel Kaluuya's character walking around Jupiter's Claim, which is apparently the name of Stephen Yoon's carnival festival thing. Why is he there? Once again, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's trying to investigate. Maybe the aliens have abducted or killed a bunch of people at this festival. We did see a bunch of them running away from something in that last trailer with this mysterious figure walking towards whatever that was. Now, I'm super pumped about everything I just talked about, but what has you the most excited? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this new horror update video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, if you really want to see this channel grow, make sure to support me on either Patreon or become a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. Thank you guys for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.